In today's panel discussion with our experts, we will delve into how the shift towards sustainable finance and the new regulatory requirements present, in fact, a unique opportunities for the future of fintech and hopefully also our planet. So our speakers we will give us a deeper understanding of how evolving standards and the financial sector can drive innovation, positioning fintech as a key player in the sustainability transition. So, as you have heard, I have with me Anne Calteux, who is the head of the European Commission representation in Luxembourg. Julien Froumouth, on my left, head of sustainability at ABBL, the Luxembourg Banking Association. And we have Tiago Freire de Andrade, who is CEO and co-founder at LinkSci. For the one who doesn't know, LinkSci is a data-driven platform that makes ESG investment more efficient. I would like to start with Tiago. Before discussing how sustainable finance can be an opportunity for fintech, let's do a step back and reflect. How do you believe can fintech support the transition towards sustainability, and what solutions are emerging? Tiago.
Yeah, thank you for having me. So what I think, especially on sustainable finance, is clearly the need of data. And I think that's something that we agree on, both for regulations, both for control of the portfolios. And we can see that that the banks and asset managers and private banks already have a lot of data on financial data. Now let's go for the non-financial data, which of course includes sustainability, includes all the other stakeholders. And I think that pushes for the need of data not only from one source, but from many sources. Because if you want to gather the idea of the stakeholders, you cannot go for only the ESG report of the company. So for that, it's essential that you can bring a lot of data points and connect them and make a decision based on that. Fintech enters on that because fintech is basically only technology on finance. So let's put technology that we already have, connecting all these points according to the ESG standards that each fund has, each wallet has, each private bank or asset manager has. So imagine that you see a big ESG case happening. So you probably take 1 to 2 weeks for someone here in Luxembourg to notice what's happening, to notice that it's not convenient for the CSSF regulations or for ESG standards of the company, of this fund. And you take at least 1 to 2 weeks to gather all this information to report to any stakeholder that is relevant for this case. With technology, we can do that in 30 minutes. So we are talking about sustainable finance being closer to reality. I'm not saying reality for now, but closer to reality because of that. And I think that's what we want to bring, technology to the space. But yeah, for sure that technology, and for us fintechs, only appeared because of regulations, because of sustainable financing, because of the need and the demand from the banks, from the part of the financial institutions that really want this. We feel that, and we are trying to solve that with technology, which is fintech basically.
Thank you. I imagine you deal a lot with the financial institutions. What is your perception? Is the financial sector ready for that?
Okay, so financial sector, I think it's ready for data. Financial data is the daily life of the financial sector. Bloomberg and everything, they are used to data and a lot of data to decide. So on that point, I think yes. On sustainability, I don't think so yet. I think they were pushed and well pushed by regulations, like you have to do that now. It's my opinion, maybe. And now they are trying to grasp what they can do with regulations that they have. I don't think they are ready for sustainable finance in general, but I think it takes time. It would be strange if they were 100% ready also. So I think we are on the right path. For us, it's also a path. So yeah, I think it's a path at least, and closer to what we want. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing your perspective. I turn now to the financial sector representative, Julien, who, for the ones who doesn't know Julien, he has a strong and long track record of expertise in the Luxembourg financial sector. Is the sector, in your opinion, currently using fintech to transition, and what trends have you observed with your role at the ABBL?
I think Thiago already talked about regulation, but I still have a point to make on this. We know that the digital and the regulatory landscape is evolving rapidly, especially within the sustainable finance field. We know that, I would say, along with the EU Sustainable Finance Action Plan, we see that investors, policymakers, regulators are more and more demanding about transparency and accountability from financial institutions regarding their own performance on sustainability, from both a business perspective, but also from a risk management perspective. And I think Thiago mentioned it, financial institutions are kind of still digesting all the new provisions, regulatory provisions that are affecting more or less all the departments, all the financial activities within their own institutions. You know, risk management, including sustainability within all the policies. And this is where we start to observe that they are like identifying gaps where fintechs could play a role to fill those gaps. What we start to observe, I would say only since a couple of months or 1 year, I would say, banks start to engage with fintech companies to bridge those gaps on 3 major fields. Sustainability reporting first, probably one of the key items, because of course all those regulations are requiring to process an ever-growing amount of data. Sustainability information, new data, so it's like part or side of financial information. And to do so, they have to produce new reporting. So they have to collect data, and they are using new innovative solutions like AI to capture data within documents. They are using, of course, blockchain to track information sometimes, and all the other digital interfaces to kind of share data with the other stakeholders. So reporting is probably one of the key elements where we are observing collaboration with fintechs. Risk management is also a key element. Probably we could talk about it a bit later, but of course risk management is absolutely key. When you talk about sustainability, how you are considering climate, environmental, social issues within your forward-looking approach, how it would affect your portfolios, your investment activities, the portfolios of your own clients, even your operations when you are outsourcing your part of your, I would say, operational daily tasks within certain geographies that might be at risk. So of course this is probably one of the second items where we see a collaboration with fintechs. The other ones would be on advice. You know, financial advisors, of course, have all the financial expertise, but now they need to be more, I would say, familiar with some scientific or technical ESG elements that could be also supported by fintechs, you know, providing the insights to make better informed decision or advice.
Thank you. And what is the Banking Association doing on this behalf to foster this connection, I would say, and let's say following these trends?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So how we are organized, we have our own, I would say, digital and innovation department within the ABBL, and then I'm in charge of the sustainability area. But of course, there is close collaboration, or I would say things where we could clearly work together. So what we have created is a fintech circle, where all those fintech companies that are providing solutions to financial institutions are invited to either join certain working groups, certain innovation-related forums, where they could exchange views with financial institutions and to a certain extent pitch their solutions and explain how they could best support the financial institutions. On the other hand, what we have also initiated is, I would say, on a network basis, we are also inviting fintechs with ESG solutions to join our dedicated sustainable finance working groups, where they could also best explain their solution and see whether we might have, you know, kind of better cooperation between the banking sector and fintech companies.
Interesting insights for the fintech that are present in the audience then. And I turn now to you, so European Commission representative. What opportunities is bringing the EU Sustainable Finance Framework to fintech?
Well, Nicoletta, thank you very much for having me. I feel very honored to be here because this is exactly the kind of events which we like to do at the representation, because our job is to bring Europe and its initiatives closer to citizens, but also to all other actors, which are also the actors of the financial market. So thank you for having me. Opportunities, you said it. We like to think about the regulation and the regulatory framework we put in place as an opportunity indeed, and not only as a set of compliance requirements, although many consider it that way, this negative connotation, but it's something we consider really necessary in order to address a major challenge, which is our sustainability and also the Green Deal, how to get there. So our framework is constructed in a way that it triggers many opportunities, notably for the fintech sector, in that it creates enhanced trust. So those who align with the rules we have put in place, they position themselves better and they create this trust relationship with investors, because investors, they want to know where they put their money in, what the project is, how sustainable it really is. So we have that element. Trustworthy is super important today, not only in the field of finance, but also in the field of digital transition. Everything is really linked. And then we believe that our framework also fosters the development of new green products, because Tiago, you were talking about this innovative spirit, which really is something which the fintech sector makes about. So really, this is something we want to encourage even more, to bring the tools to the actors to develop innovative products. So this is something we consider super important. And then obviously sustainability is our major policy goal, and it costs a lot of money. So our framework creates the conditions where access to finance, to funding, is made easier, be it from the public or the private sector. So really this setting free of the money we need is enhanced by our regulatory framework. So we consider our rules for sustainable finance regulation, we consider them to be a catalyst of transformation, of growth and investment. And the fintech sector is a sector which we would like to see play a pivotal role in bringing forward or in making advance the transition towards a data-driven, sustainable and resilient financial sector.
Thank you very much. So sustainability, innovation and trust as the key three elements. Do you believe that the current regulatory framework could be put in place without the support of technological solutions?
Well, theoretically, yes, but let's be honest, in practice, no, not possible. It would be very inefficient because, as you have said, there is a lot of big data processing involved when we talk about sustainable finance regulation. So enormous amounts of data which need to be gathered, analyzed, and then also processed. So that is something which can only be done when we use innovative solutions developed by the fintech sector, and also when it comes to reporting. Reporting is very time consuming, and if we didn't have automated reporting tools, we would need so much more time and it wouldn't be very efficient. So this is something without fintech we wouldn't be able to do it. So here again, fintech is our partner in enabling this, as I said, sustainable, resilient and data-driven financial sector we want to see. So we enable, the Commission enables, but the fintech sector is also an enabler. So we work towards the same objective, I'd like to say. And obviously, I think together with the financial market, with the more traditional financial actors like banks, represented here by ABBL, we are all trying to join forces to reach the same goal.
Thank you very much. Well, we are responding somehow to the title of this panel, so confirming that there are many opportunities out there. I have a question for all of you, because you will bring, I hope, or I guess, a different perspective from your expertise and experience. What should we do to ensure that the financial sector, deregulation, and fintech work together to advance this sustainable, so much needed transition? Tiago, fintech perspective.
I would like to know Anne's opinion. No. For fintechs, that's easy. We need trust. We don't have. The European Commission obviously has, and we have to fight for that. So it's not enough to have the best technology. I'm not saying that I'm the best technology. I'm not saying that, but it's not enough. People will have to trust us. People will have to. It's 1 to 2 years with each client on the trust process. These associations, these European Commissions, obviously, but all the associations, LSFI also, can bring us that trust. I'm talking about my part on this, obviously. We can help with technology. Of course, we have to show that we are good for also you trust us. We know that. But, of course, communication is the main thing. But trust for us, it's what lacks us. Maybe innovation for others. I don't know. We try to bring technology and try to find some trust on anyone that we can get.
Anna, what's your view?
I think we need to stay close to the stakeholders as a commission. We need to listen to their advice, and that the commission does that regularly. We are carrying out consultations. We would like to be sure that the instruments, the tools, because it's not only regulation, it's also standards, it's tools, it's voluntary mechanisms which we have put in place as a complementary mechanism towards with regard to regulation. We want to know that it's usable, user-friendly for the actors of the financial market. So we would like to hear that from them, like today, really. And also we would like to make sure that the infrastructures which are in place regarding reporting, data collection are fit for use. So that is also a joint effort. I think continuous monitoring of and adaptation of the existing frameworks is very important. So and for that to be carried out in a meaningful way, we again need the feedback from the sector. So it's really mutually, it's going in both ways. We listen, but you also have to bring in your advice and your reactions, your comments from the ground.
Very interesting. Julien, what's your point of view?
I would say we should go beyond technology and regulation, because you are usually talking about a lot of AI, the complexity of regulation. In my view, there is 3 major elements. I would say we need to connect the dots. This is something we are doing at the ABBL. This is something we are doing now through such like a great event. Then I would say we need scalability, which means that whenever a fintech might have a financial institution as a client, of course, that might be not enough, to scale up and bring solutions to the entire market. So I would say one response would be cooperation and mutualization. Again, something we are doing at the ABBL. We try to bring together I would say a sample of financial institutions who could interact with fintechs to identify solutions that could be, I would say, kind of scaled for the market and then be, I would say, a profitable use case for the fintech company directly, I would say, and then money. Of course, money is probably the key elements that would like support the development of fintech companies, and money could also go through a certain coalition. Again, something we try to push at the ABBL, again, also with the LSFI, working also with the government and public authorities, try to find how we could have like fiscal or other like money-related incentives to scale up the initiatives that will be developed in Luxembourg through different collaborations. So I would say money. Of course, scalability and connecting the dots will be the 3 major elements that would further support the development.
Thank you, Julien. I see Anne is raising her hand. She would like to add something.
Yeah, just adding, I totally agree about the financial aspect you just mentioned. So the investment, we need the money. We are actually in favor of fiscal incentives, but obviously this is not something we can impose, but we would be grateful to see member states go into that direction. And obviously if ABBL could be a strong defender of that, obviously that is in our all interest, for sure. I just wanted to add that. And also I wanted to congratulate you for having created the circle. So this instrument of gathering all the actors together and allowing this exchange of best practice, and then this would again allow scalability.
So congratulations shared with my colleagues here from the digital team as well.
So, well, trust, monitoring, connecting the dots, money. So there's still a few challenges to be, let's say, look at, but I would say also opportunities because I like to think positive. I look at the timing. We still have a bit of time, so I will not say 1 minute each. You can take the time, a bit of more time, I would say, for this last question. So considering your different backgrounds, we've touched upon it, but I would like, to go a bit deeper. Is fintech the key ingredient to enable and support the sustainable finance, let's say, domain, and why? Anne?
Definitely they have a really important role to play, but I think it's a joint effort. Everyone has to play its or her role. The Commission sets the rules, the framework, but if the stakeholders don't participate in this, in the implementation, then we go nowhere. So fintech, definitely, you are the enabler we need to make quick progress. As I already said, we need fintech to create this trustworthy environment. We need fintech to create the conditions to adapt to a rapidly changing environment, the environment of the financial market. We need also fintech to make use of AI. AI also something which is rapidly evolving, so we count on you to follow the evolution of this absolutely dynamic sector. And yes, we need fintech, I think, is an enabler also when it comes to transparency and to compliance. You know that the Commission is really looking into how rules are complied with, and so we consider fintech to be our helper to bring about this compliance, regulatory compliance, and to also to help the actors to move away from this perception that compliance is something only negative, but it can be also something positive, as you say, because it fosters innovation. We need innovation today more than ever. And I think, I don't know, you said it, or you, Julien, we need to be forward-looking. I think you said it, Thiago. Forward-looking. So really looking into the future and not just limit ourselves to wait for the next step to come. We need to be able to anticipate it. And the processing of big data is one tool to get there, to be able to think ahead and to be able to put ourselves in a position to make the most of it in the interest of all the actors of the financial sector.
Thank you very much, Anne. Julien, what's your perspective?
So as you talk about ingredient, I will try to make a parallel with cooking, I would say. I think it could be a key ingredient, of course, but you have to have first a well-defined recipe, I would say. And by recipe, I would talk about how big are your ESG ambition. So it means from a bank perspective, what kind of targets you will set for your institutions. Otherwise, you can, of course, combine any ingredient that you have on the table. If the recipe is not properly defined, it might be a mess. Of course, you have to have good cookers, which means that you have to properly train and skill your, I would say, staff, broadly speaking, because it would affect every functions within your organization. So they need to be skilled, they need to have the right ESG expertise, and you have to have the right governance around the ESG. Good cookers, and of course, I would say cooking tools as well, which would mean that your fintech as an ingredient will have to fit within the other, I would say, or your broad environment, i.e. the other tools that you are using. Otherwise, it might bring, redundancies, overlaps. So you have to, it means that your innovative solutions have to fit within the financial institution's value proposition, broadly speaking. And then recipe, key ingredients, properly mixed, salt and pepper, mix between innovation and investor protection, between digitalization and human interaction. That's very important. Fintech or technologies are always a mean, but it does not replace people who will advise at the end the client.
Very interesting analogy. I think I will use it in my next panel discussion. Thiago.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. I don't think that fintech is the key to sustainable finance, although I would like to. I think that the regulations are the key to sustainable finance. That's the push. Every time that I talk with any client or possible client, they say regulations is the main thing. So I would say that's the key. I think fintechs are here to make it more efficient, to make it less expensive. I think everyone is saying sustainable finance is very expensive. You have to create new standards that I don't know how. So put a lot of workforce that didn't exist until now into sustainable finance to make it happen. We are here to make it more efficient and less expensive. Now, following on this, and because we still have 1 or 2 minutes, I would challenge some things. For the ABBL, I don't know your scope and all your activities, so I'm not challenging without knowing, but
Challenge me.
create communities of startups. I know that you have to test the startup before presenting to anyone. I believe that. But you give the credibility to any technology. So be open to that, because you're not buying it. Every time that we talk with a bank or a client, they are finding a mistake. They are trying to find a mistake to lower the price or to not buy us. Help startups, doesn't have to be me, but help fintechs get to the point, because it's very difficult for us to get feedback from clients, because they say, yeah, you want to sell to us, I know. Yes, we do, but maybe if you give us feedback, I can build the best product possible. So create a community and then bring that community, those fintechs, to the banks, because you'll get the trust. For the European Commission, I know that you have a lot of tools for this. I don't know the total scope, but I know the European Union is launching this. I know that you want to be the continent of sustainability. The United States is not going that way, apparently, at least for this year. Let's see what happens in the end of the year. And all the other continents are not very focused on that, because they also have other priorities. I reason to that. I don't know, creation of a green spread for all the banks in Europe. A green spread would give so much money. I know it's difficult, but a green spread. So interest rates, which are the point of talk right now, if they were lower to sustainable investments, that would solve a lot of cash that it's not being implemented, also because of interest rates. And you can make, I think, a difference. I think a bigger difference than tax cuts. It's my opinion. But of course, you know the market way better than me. So I would challenge this. Of course, I have a lot of challenges. I know that. Not on the technology, but also bring. It's my responsibility to come to you, not yours to come to me. I'm sure of that. But yeah, I would say that we have a role in sustainable finance, and regulations are clearly the key factor on this. I would say. Nicoletta.
Well, I think I would like to warmly thank my fellow panelists. I think we committed to what I promised at the beginning. So we definitely delved into the different opportunities and challenges that these 3 key players play. And we stay tuned to see more collaboration and connecting the dots at the nexus of the next year, I would say. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much
Thank you for the
audience.
audience.
Thank you all.